Hey guys, welcome to our first AMA with Rueben, where we're going to be able to ask Rueben one question, and he's going to respond as genuinely as he can. And we'll just get the opportunity to get to know him a little bit more as our youth pastor. So, the first question that we have today is, do you ever struggle with your faith?
Yeah. So this is a question I think that gets asked to pastors a lot, and should be asked to pastors a lot, because I think a lot of people, I know I did, growing up, I had 4 different youth pastors going through high school. Every single year we switched youth pastors, 2 because of moral failure, and they were kicked out, and 2 because they moved. And so I always put my pastors on pedestals sometimes, and when they left, man, it was devastating. And because I feel like they never struggled with their faith, right? Mm-hmm. And as I found out very quickly, growing up in the church my whole life, man, when I got to college, man, I struggled with my faith hard. Very hard. I will say this, growing up, I wouldn't say I was born a Christian by any means, because theologically that's very unsound. But I came to Christ at a very early age, in mind, but not in heart. And I think they're 2 different things.
Yeah, totally. Definitely.
My mom, we lived right up the street from a Baptist church, and had us at that time in the church, 3-4 days a week, because you went Sunday morning, Sunday night, you went on Saturdays for visitation, you went Wednesday nights, so we were always at this church, and it was just something I always did, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. Mm-hmm. I really did not have a problem at that time embracing God at all. Mm-hmm. But when I got to college, and I kind of went to a school that was a little more legalistic than others.
Yeah.
And,
what college?
Pensacola Christian College. Okay. And I had a great time there. Don't get me wrong. And I grew in my faith there, ironically, as much as I pulled away as well. But it was there where, man, I just started struggling hard, because I saw some of the... I saw... if you don't know what legalism is, let me kind of describe that for people out there. It's really, I think, this in its simplest form it's law without love. Okay.
That's a really good definition.
And I saw that a lot, and man, it impacted me huge. So much so that it turned me from the faith, and I started asking a lot of hard questions. And at that school, questions were not allowed. Any kind of doubts about God, I started, hey, let me ask you this, and it was always, you basically shut up, we don't talk about that, okay? And you just keep moving on. You have faith, right? You got to have faith, and that just wasn't satisfying to me. Mm-hmm. And so because of the legalism, quite frankly, and then I had an issue where I got my heart broke by a girl.
Oof.
The
heartbreakers.
You got to love those. That's because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, and here's the thing, and I'm not blaming this on God. In fact, it's all my fault. I used that to run away from God, and this situation, and you end up saying stupid things in your head. Like, I remember crying out to God, like, "Oh, I followed you my whole life, and this is the thanks I get," and it's like.
I mean, I think we've all been there, yeah.
But how stupid is that phrase? Right?
Yeah,
how crazy. When you really boil it down, it's just said in anger, and you're not thinking clearly. And when you really think about it, you're like, I'm an idiot for saying that. Yeah. But it really sent me on this bend where I felt like, man, I'm living my life for God, and what did I really get out of it? It was all about me, right? Yeah. What am I getting out of this? Yeah. And then I started looking back at my Christian life. And I started realizing, number one, it wasn't a Christian life. It was all about me.
Wow. Yeah.
I was a good boy, in school because it benefited me. To me, it just didn't make sense. Why wouldn't you follow the rules? Because, dude, people like me. My teachers like me, right? My parents gave me stuff, right? I didn't get in trouble.
So you acted the part, but it wasn't actually an inside.
And again, it goes back to when I went to school, I said I found legalism, but when I look back on my life, it was me that was being legalistic, right? Because I was following the law, but I had no love behind it. It was all about me. Yeah. And so this kind of sent me on a tear once I recognized that I was like, this is garbage, And I started looking at it going, man, if this is not true, then what am I doing? I could be having a lot more fun, right? So to speak, right? Yeah. Which I had not had, apparently. Yeah. And I had a professor challenge me from the University of Western Florida in a coffee shop one day, and about errors in the Bible. And he basically said to me, he said, there's like almost 400,000 errors in the Bible. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, what? No.
And when I looked it up, that's true.
Yeah.
Except he didn't explain to me what textual criticism was and what an error was. And this sent me on a spiral, because at that point I was right there at the breaking point where I wanted to not believe in God. I wanted to not believe. Yeah. And so, man, I went on this tear kind of silently behind my parents' back to disprove God. And thank God for his grace. And this is where I got to see the law with so much grace involved as the more I looked into it, and this is what drew me into apologetics. Yeah. And why I'm so passionate about it is the more I looked, the less I could deny it. Until after about a year and a half of just digging and digging and digging, I found myself in my dorm room just on my knees crying out to God, going, I repent, I'm wrong. Yeah. Wow. And I would say that's where I became a Christian. I would not say that it was early on in my life, and that's my story to tell. That doesn't mean it's like that for everyone. That's my story to tell. But again, that's where it became not just a head connection, because even the demons know there is a God, right? Even the demons know Christ rose from the dead. Even the demons know who he is, right? Yeah. And while I knew who he was, I had not received him into my life. I did not make him Lord of my life. And so the other time I struggled in my faith hard, and but thank God his grace brought me back to him. Yeah. And stronger than ever. Does that mean I still don't struggle with my faith?
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you struggle still now?
Absolutely. It's hard to, and when I say struggle with my faith, it's much different now. Yeah. I never doubt that there is a God. I never doubt that Jesus is Lord. I never doubt that Christianity is the way, the truth, and the life. I never doubt that. Gotcha, I don't have that doubt anymore. Yeah. What I do doubt is, what are you doing up there, dude?
Yeah, like, what are you trying to do?
I do doubt that, especially working with kids a lot. You see the struggles that they're having, and so many of them, it's not their fault. There's nothing they can do about it, and I feel so helpless, and wanting to help, and it's just like sometimes I just cry out to him, going, "What's going on?" And so in that there is doubt, but it's doubt differently. Yeah, I'm not doubting God himself. I'm doubting maybe that arrogantly I know a better way.
I know what you're saying.
And I don't. So yeah, I think it's important for people to know that pastors, just as much as anyone else, struggle with their faith, maybe differently. Yeah. Okay. But and I think it's important to know this: doubts are okay. Yeah. Doubts are okay. In fact, I would argue that if you have not struggled with your faith, then that could be a very dangerous place. Then maybe the faith isn't yours. I wouldn't say that for everybody, but for a lot of people. Yeah. Is the faith really yours, or is it somebody else's? Your mom's, your dad's, your families, your churches, your pastors, whatever the case may be. And so if you don't have that struggle, and again, it's okay. Job doubted God, right? Yeah. And it says in all of this, Job sinned not. So doubting's not sin. Yeah. It's what do you do with those doubts, And the first time I doubted God, man, it led me into a dark, dangerous, terrible place. Yeah. But now the doubts come, and I can curb them a lot in a much different place. That is still scary. It's still, I'll be honest with you, unsettling. In many cases. The answers I get are unsatisfying.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, that was Job's case too, right?
Right, yeah.
In some ways, it was like, oh, you didn't really answer why you did all of this to me.
Right? No, in the end, he basically says, I'm God. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. But at the end, here's the thing about Job, though, that I'm not there yet. It basically alludes very clearly that in all this, Job was satisfied. Yeah. He was satisfied in that. Yeah. And I'm not there yet. I want to be there. I want to be satisfied in that, And so that's why the walk is, it's a walk, it's a journey of life, towards sanctification, And I would love the people, to think I'm there, but I'm not. And I don't know when I will be.
Yeah, totally. Well, awesome. Thank you. Man. Yeah, no, that was awesome. And if you guys have any more questions for Rueben, feel free to submit them to us. We'd love for our questions to be coming directly from you guys. Yeah. And for you guys to be the ones who are choosing what they want to know about Rueben, and whether they're about his faith or just really about anything. So thanks for joining us.
Can I lay one thing to rest? One question to rest. Well, actually, two questions to rest. Okay. In this submission, nothing about Alaska and nothing about wrestling. All right. Let's just lay that on the table. All right? I think we all know that. Okay.
So he's talking about one of our recent Instagram stories where we did a Nobody Rueben, and it was all about Rueben being from Alaska and all this stuff. But yeah, so can't wait to see what you guys have to submit for us in terms of questions, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.